and welcome to your classic hot yoga. We're going to start in a mountain pose with feet together, side by side. So just checking out that balance across the ball of the foot and bringing a little bit of body weight back into the heel. Start to close off the eyes. Relax the arms down by your side. And then bring all of your awareness inside the body. Relaxing any expression away from your face. Maybe set an intention for one thing that you'd like to get out of your practice today. Big breath in. And open mouth, exhale. Good. Blink your eyes open. And we'll start to take a spinal warm-up. So if you bring your arms overhead to start with, interlace your fingers and just take a gentle tick-tock from side to side. And stop in the middle, have a little look up at your hands and go back. And back to centre. And take a nice easy forward fold, softening the knees as you go down. You can start to graze your fingertips on the floor and take your feet a few inches apart. Or just hang here for a few moments to loosen off the back of the neck, any tension in the lower back, maybe a gentle sway from side to side, making sure the breath travels smoothly in and out through the nose. And stop in the middle, bring your fingertips back to the floor, heel toe your feet back together side by side. Bring your arms out in front of you. Interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, and with your arms next to your ears, rise all the way up. And relax your arms into the mountain pose. Look straight ahead. And we'll find our first breathing exercise, pranayama breathing. So interlace fingers, cross your thumbs, take your knuckles under your chin, look straight ahead. Swallow, and then lick your lips. And we'll start to breathe in through the nose. Bring your elbows nice and wide, all the way up to frame your face. Keep the gaze forward on that inhale. And then head back on the exhale. We're going to open mouth, breathe out, pushing the elbows forward, high away from the chest until the elbows touch. Good, inhale, take the elbows nice and wide. Bring the gaze down, chin parallel to the floor, lift your elbows. And now head back and breathe out like, push your elbows forward, triceps parallel to the floor. Good. Again, inhale into the chest, into the ribs, keeping the belly pulled in nice and tight. And then head back and breathe out. Keep your eyes open. A long, slow exhale breath, pushing the palms together, wrists together, and elbows back together. Inhale again, head down, elbows come up. Stand up nice and tall with a straight spine. Lift through the crown of the head. And then breathe out again. A long, slow exhale breath. Try not to rush pranayama breathing. Try to take it nice and easy, enjoying every moment. Inhale again. Ventilate the lungs by lifting your elbows, making way for more movement in the rib cage. And then breathe out a long, slow exhale again. Feel that depression across the abdominal wall. Keep the knuckles underneath the chin. Good, last one, inhale, take the elbows nice and wide, head down, lift your elbows high, 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 and then head back. You can breathe out nice and slow through the mouth, elbows back together. Finally, relax your arms down by your side into mountain pose. Just feel everything start to settle back down. Trying to avoid fidgeting, moving in between postures. And we'll go again for our first held posture. So bring your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, release your index fingers. Try to straighten out your elbows, and we'll just go up and over into the right hand side. So stretch and reach, up and over, squeezing into that right hand side. Rib cage to pelvis, push into that left hip. Feel the left legs start to shift over towards the left hand side. But gently lift the chin away from the chest. And then change, come all the way back up, stretch up, look forwards and over and towards the left hand side this time. Feel the weight shifting into the outside edge of the right foot. It might feel like you want to grip on with the toes, but slowly start to take the weight back into the heels, hips pulling forward. Go down, and change. Come all the way back up to the top. Okay, set up for your back bend, so you can separate the feet slightly here, maybe bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, look up. Maybe you keep your arms overhead, and then start to go back into your first back bend. So just go easy, keep your eyes open, look up to the sky, push the hips forward. Keep breathing tiny sips of that in and out through your nose, and then change to come all the way back up and fold over your thighs. Nice, easy, relax. Separate the hands. Separate the feet if they're not already. You can start to pedal out the hips, bending into the knees, the right knee, the left knee. Shake out the head, nod for yes. Shake for no. And then we'll bring those feet back together side by side. We'll reach your arms out in front of you, finding a clasp. And ride all the way up. And stretch to the ceiling. And relax your arms into the mountain pose. Stand up nice and tall. Let everything settle. Find that chair pose. So heel toe your feet out about hip width distance apart. Making sure your toes are pointed forwards. Let the weight settle into the heels. Reach and stretch both arms out in front of you. Squeeze your fingers together side by side. Go triceps tight. And then start to sink your hips low into your imaginary chair at the back of your yoga mat. So start to feel the weight sink into the heels so that we're not gripping on tight with the toes. And feel the muscles across the shins start to fire up. Sink the weight back. Lever the chest forward. And then change to come all the way up onto your tiptoes for the second part of Utkatasana, chair pose. So just catch your balance here. Notice any wobbles and then start to settle by pushing weight through your big toe. Draw the lower belly in and then start to bend into your knees. So trying to keep that flat back positioning. Heels lift, knees lift, chest lifts, hold, breathe. Relax your face. Relax the inside of your mouth. And then change, rise all the way up. Drop the heels down, keep your arms where they are. And then squeeze your knees together tightly, like you're trying to hold onto a pencil with your knees. Float the heels. And then just keeping that flat back position, we're going to go down slowly, listening to the knees along the way as you sink down. Maybe you can come all the way down into a squat. Any pain in the knees, keep the hips lifted. If you're feeling good here in your squat, point your knees down, lift the hips, hold, breathe, relax your face. Take a little bounce, hold at the top, and rise all the way up to stand and arms down by your side. Refind your mountain pose. Breathe. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Let's take arms overhead for that eagle pose. So finding your right arm, relax your shoulders, and then send your right arm down under your left. Cross at your elbows and your wrists. See if you could bring your thumbs towards your face. Sink your elbows down. Find a compression across the shoulders. Take a deep bend in both knees. Shift your weight into your left leg and take your right leg high up and over the left. Point into your right big toe and see if you can snake it back behind your left calf. Sit down a little bit deeper. Bring everything towards the midline. Leave your upper body back. Squeeze down, sink down, breathe. And then change. Bring your arms all the way up overhead. We'll switch sides. So again, start by relaxing the neck and shoulders. Find your left arm, swing it down under the right. Cross at the elbows, the wrists, thumbs back towards your face. And then squeeze down. Find a deep compression across the shoulders. Sit down low into your knees. And then shift your body weight into your right foot. Left leg high up and over. Okay, so we try to find deep compression, again, across the big joints of the body. The shoulders, the elbows, hips, knees, ankles. Sit down, bring that right knee forwards. And then change, spring back out, bring your arms overhead. And relax into a mountain pose. Having a water break if you need to now. We'll meet back together in mountain pose. Just observing the breath in between postures. Seeing if you can keep your eyes on a single point in front of you and call this your drishti. Finding the balance on that left leg. We'll move on to our first single leg balance of the next part of the sequence. So standing forehead to knee, Dandayamana Janu Shashasana. Tighten through the left leg. And bring your right knee all the way up to hip height. Flex your right toes back towards your face. And then tighten a little bit through that left glute. Feeling that strength, that power, pushing the floor away with the left foot. And when you're ready, you can reach down. You can take a clasp around the ball of the right foot, interlacing your fingers. Holding, breathing here, catching your balance. If this is too much, you can clasp for your knee or your shin. Lift the knee, lift the chest. Keeping your eyes forward on your drishti. Start to push that right heel forwards, pulling the hips back. Keep your toes flexed back towards your face. Good. If you're feeling good here, you can start to bend your elbows a little bit. If you're still feeling good and you want more, look down at your left big toe. You can start to bring your forehead all the way down towards your knee. Hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. And then change. Back into mountain pose. Shake out the legs. We'll do the same on the other side. So tighten through the right leg. And bring your left knee all the way up. Flex your toes back towards your face. Again, paying attention to the strength of the right leg. Push through the big toe, little toe heel. And then when you're ready to move, you can choose where you're going to take the clasp. Maybe reach down for the ball of that foot. Get a tight grip with the hands. Keep your eyes forward, right leg straight back into place, lift the knee and chest. And then start to execute your posture slowly with control, breathing into the back ribs. You feel that space open up between the shoulder blades, tightening through the abdominal wall. Push that left heel away. Maybe you drop your elbows. Maybe you can start to drop your gaze now towards your big toe. Round your forehead down. See if you could connect forehead to knee, right leg straight. Concentrate, meditate, breathe. Good, and then change. Back into mountain pose. Your feet together side by side. Stand up nice and tall. Standing bow. Bring your right elbow in towards your right hip, palm face up. And reach back and down for the inside of your right foot. If you can turn the inner elbow out towards the side, this allows the shoulder to open up later on in the posture. Bring the knees back together. Bring your left arm all the way up, palm forward. Take an inhale, reach. And then as you exhale, start to kick into your right hand. And when you can't kick anymore, start to hinge into your left hip. Look straight ahead. Relax your face. Relax the inside of your mouth. Kick a little, reach a little, and now hold and breathe. Feel that 50-50 kick and reach. Breathe. Standing leg is straight. And then change. Bring yourself back into mountain pose. Shake out the legs. And we'll go in for that left hand side. So left elbow to left hip. Reach back and down for the inside of your foot. If this grip could be a little bit lower towards your ankle, you could do that. Bring the knees back together. Right arm up to the sky, palm forward. Fingers glued together side by side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, start to kick. So just notice how you feel. Every kick. If you can feel that stability, engaging through the hamstring. And then start to reach through that right arm. Your right arm is your arrow, your left arm, your left leg is your bow. Kick and reach, hold and breathe. Find a little bit of stillness here. Good, and then change. Bring yourself back into a mountain pose. Stand up nice and tall. Big inhale. Exhale, let go. Good. And then stand at the back of your mat. Ready for Chula Dandasana, standing balancing stick. Bring your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, release index fingers, straighten out your elbows. Good, keeping that straight spine. Step your right foot, a big step halfway down your mat. Chin lifts away from the chest. And then launch off the left toes as you bring your left leg high and your body down. Straighten out your spine. Gaze at the front edge of your mat. Keep your arms lifted, elbows straight, wrists straight, stretch and reach like you're trying to do a tug of war with your own body. Good, change, step back, straight into the other side. Left foot steps, right leg lifts. Go down, steady, but committed to the posture. Keep your eyes open, chin forward, arms lifted, stretch and reach. Can you drop the right hip down just a little bit? And then change. Step back, arms relaxed down by your side. Feel your heart beating in your chest. Good. Take a quarter turn to face your right. Take a big step down your mat with your right foot, or with your right foot. Bring your arms out to parallel. Wide leg forward, forward. Make sure the toes are pointed forward. Keep your rib cage stacked over your pelvis. Big breath in. Keeping the arms wide, chest open, hinge forward from the hips, trying to keep a flat back position. Maybe you bend in the knees to keep that flat back. And then we'll grip for the outside edges of the feet. If you can't get the feet, then go for your ankles or calves, keeping the chin lifted away from the chest. Take an inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, start to gently draw the forehead down towards the mat. You're keeping your eyes open. With every inhale, lengthen. With every exhale, you can start to pull now. Use that grip strength, bicep strength, to pull yourself down into your Dandayamana, Bipakta Pada, Paschimottanasana. Good, change. Bring your arms out to the side. Lift it all the way back up. We're going to triangle pose. So keeping that wide stance, turn the right toes towards the front of the mat, heels, ankles in line. Let's square off the hips and shoulders towards the long edge of your mat. Take a big bend into your right knee. Slide the back foot back a little bit. Try to keep the torso in the middle of the posture. Tighten through the left leg, left glute. Flip your palms. Reach forward and down with the right arm on the inside of your right knee. See if you could aim your right fingertips to the space between your big toe and second toe. The two will never meet because you're going to be reaching up so hard with that left hand. Good. Bring a little bit of body weight back. Chin towards the shoulder. Face is relaxed. Inside of the mouth is relaxed. Find something that challenges you here. Keeping the right knee bent, hips low, one more time. And then spring back out and change to the other side. So right toes turn in. Left toes turn towards the back of the mat. Again, heels in one line, big bend into the left knee. You can bounce a little bit here, stopping with the hips in the lowest point. Tighten through the right leg. Reach with the left arm and then bring it down on the inside of your knee. So you can use that left arm to gently press the knee away from the midline to encourage a deeper hip opening stretch on the left-hand side. Good. So lever your upper body back, chest spiraling towards the sky. Good. With every inhale, reach through your fingers. With every exhale, sink through the hips. Good. Rise all the way back up. Turn the left toes in. Step your right foot, big step back to meet your left at the back of your mat. And relax your arms down by your side. Push, turn back to face the front. Standing separate leg, forehead to knee. Bring your arms overhead. Push your palms together, cross your thumbs. Step your right foot, big step forward. And pin your back heel to the floor behind you. So just try to square off the hips here. So pull the right hip back a few times. Big inhale, breath. And as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest and try to round out the upper back as much as possible. So just notice how this feels on the lower back. If it feels a little bit pinchy, then chin lifts slightly away from the chest. That's okay. Good. When you're all the way down, you might bend into your right knee a little bit or a lot to get your connection of your forehead onto your knee. And if you feel a little bit wobbly with your balance, you can separate your hands either side of your foot. Feel a sense of deep compression across the abdominal wall. A throat choke sensation as you pull the chin a little bit tighter in towards the chest.
If you feel balanced, your forehead is on your knee, you can start to bring the palms back together.
Look forwards, breathe out. Breathe in, lift all the way back up to the top. Step your right foot a big step back to meet your left. Keep your arms overhead. We'll do the same on the other side. So left foot forward. Right hip pulling forward to even out. Inhale. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Start to curl up into this posture. You feel that space between the shoulder blades pushing up towards the ceiling. This is an area that a lot of people tend to feel a little bit of tightness across the upper back. So we're encouraging that area to loosen off. You keep pulling the left hip back in space. Keep breathing in and out, tiny sips of air. Tighten through the right leg. Stretch your arms out in front, so you can bring the palms back together. Exhale, look forwards. Inhale, rise all the way up. Bring your left foot a big step back to meet your right and relax your arms down by your side. Big breath in. And exhale, let go. Final standing posture. Bring your body weight into your left leg. Tighten through all of the muscles. See if you could suck them in towards the bone. And bring your right knee up to hip height. Turn your knee out to the side and look straight ahead. And now yogi's choice here. You could either reach with your left hand to the outside of your foot, or you can rest your sole on the inner thigh, calf, ankle. So if you're going to go for your hip crease, you can keep your clasp with your left hand around your foot and gently encourage that right knee down. Maybe one hand to heart center. Maybe two hands to heart center if the foot stays in place. If your foot is in your hip crease and your knees feel good, you can start to hinge forward, maybe catch your fingertips on the floor for a toe stand. Just listening to the body all the time on our yoga journey. Maybe one hand to heart center from toe stand. Maybe you're staying here in your tree. Option to play around with that drishti, maybe close an eye or two. Toe stands, moving back into a tree. Feet together, side by side, back into mountain pose. Big breath in. And exhale, let go. Let's do the same on the other side. So tightening through that right leg. And lifting the left knee up. Just noticing that difference between left and right. As you set that leg up into your preferred position. This posture, tree pose, vrikshasana, helps us to slow down, slow the breath, slow the heart rate, bringing us into perfect state for a nice, calm, transitional shavasana. Maybe a toe stand again. Or maybe you stay here in your vrikshasana. And if you're staying in your tree pose, again, maybe you close an eye or two. Or just stay here finding stillness if you're in a toe stand. Trying to keep the chest lifted. Breathing continuous, finding that focus with your drishti. And then back into mountain pose with feet together, side by side. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, bring the hands through heart center. Good, have a little lie down. And keep your eyes open here. Inhaling, exhaling. Relax your shoulders. Relax the inside of your mouth. Feel the breath travelling into the belly. Continuing to breathe into the belly. We'll start to move into the second half of a sequence on the floor. Starting with hatha muktasana. Start to bring your right knee in towards your chest. Keep the left leg relaxed. Take a reach forward and down. Take a clasp around your knee. Either with your hands or crook of the elbow. Try to let the lower back settle down into the mat. Head on the floor. Keep breathing into the abdominal wall. Good, switch sides, right leg long, left leg in. So just gently waking up the lower back, massaging the internal abdominal organ, big squeezing. No pain in the head. Good, and then release. Immediately bring both knees in towards the chest at the same time. You can wrap your arms around your legs. Try to keep the back of your head on the floor. And reach for opposite fingers, wrists, forearms, elbows. Big squeeze. Try to press every vertebra down into the mat. Big compression across the belly. Good, and then release. Bring the legs long, bring your arms overhead. And bring your feet together side by side. Hook your thumbs. Flex your toes back towards your face. Big breath out. Breathe in, sit up. Double exhale. As you reach for your toes, let your head relax. Good. I'm going to go for front lying. So head forward, feet back behind. So this is our spine strengthening series of postures. We start with cobra pose, nice safe back bend using our own strength against gravity. So bring your chin to the floor, elbows nice and high, hands underneath the shoulders. Zipper up your legs, big toes, heels together. See if you could tighten your thigh muscles so your knees lift off the floor. Look forwards and breathe out. As you breathe in, use your strong back to lift your ribs off the floor. Little to no weight in the hands here. Keep pushing the tops of the feet into the floor and then lift the gaze. Look up a little bit more, go up. And relax. And bring your ear to the mat and relax your arms completely down by your side. Remembering that the rest is as important as the posture itself. Roll your arms underneath your body for a single leg lift, preparing for locust pose, Salabhasana. So you try to get the hands as close together underneath your body as you can. Bring the chin forwards, relax the left leg. And now point, lock, and lift your right leg back behind you. Try to keep the hips even. Same weight in the back of the left hand as in the back of the right. Try to keep the bend out of your knee, lift up, and then lower. Relax the right leg, point, lock, lift the left leg back behind, stretch and reach through your big toe. Big lift, hold and breathe. Good, and relax, bring it down. Slide your hands a little bit closer towards your knees, and then you can make fists here, tucking your fingers to your palms. Bring your whole face into the mat. Tighten your legs. Big toes, heels together, breathe out. As you breathe in, bring both legs off the floor at the same time. Maybe you feel your knees lift, maybe your thighs. Good. And then lower back down. Bring your opposite ear to the floor, bring your arms out from underneath you. Give your fingers a little wiggle. Relax. Okay, bring both arms out to the side like aeroplane wings. If you struggle for space here, you can bring arms slightly forward out in front of you. With big toes, heels together. Full locust pose. Breathe out. And then as you breathe in, start to lift your chin, your arms, your chest, and your legs off the floor. So that just the soft part of your belly, your pelvis are connected to the floor. Squeeze the big toes together. Squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back body. Lift the gaze, hold and breathe. Tiny sips of air, don't hold your breath. Good. And then lower down, bring your opposite ear onto the floor. Relax completely. Big bend in your knees. We'll set up for our floor bow pose. So knees can be separated. Reach back with your hands, grab for the outside edges of your feet. So if you can't get both at the same time, you can go one at a time. Okay, look forwards. Tight grip. Exhale. Slowly but firmly start to kick into your hands. This will start to lift your chest away from the floor, lifting the knees. And then once you can't kick anymore, you can start to look up to the sky. Good, don't stop kicking. Use your leg strength to create that open chest, back bend sensation. Look up. And then lower down. Loosen off your grip. And then just windscreen wipe your legs from side to side. And take a brief child's pose from here. So hands to the mat. Lift the chest. Widen the knees, big toes together. And just let your forehead rest on the mat. Maybe a lazy child's pose with arms back behind. And take a little forehead roll from side to side. Keep your eyes open. Right, let's meet in tabletop position. So hands at the front of the mat, knees just behind the wrists. Bring the knees close together and the feet nice and wide, preparing for reclined hero pose. So with tops of the feet on the floor, start to sink your hips into that space between the heels. If you need to widen the knees a little bit or a lot, then that's okay. And just see how you feel here. If this is already too much on the knees, you can keep some weight into your hands, maybe even use a block for your hands. If it feels good, you can sink the hips comfortably in between the heels. You can start to come back onto your hands. Gently tuck the pelvis under to lay the sacrum on the floor. And you can start to come all the way back. Lying down and taking your clasp with your arms overhead if that feels good. Always remembering to go one step at a time with each posture, especially this posture. It really presents very differently for different people. Try to press the back of the neck into the floor. Eyes open, and then gaze down the top of your chest. And try to see if we could push those neck bones into the floor. A gentle lifting of the rib cage. Squeeze your knees down towards the mat. And breathing. And then bring your hands to your heels. Push into your elbows. Lift your chest. Hands to the floor. And we'll just take a little stretch of the calves back behind, one at a time. Before we meet at the back of the mat, making sure there's plenty of space out in front for half tortoise pose, Ardha Kamasana. Okay, so observing the straight spine, rib cage over pelvis as you bring your arms overhead, chin lifted, palms together, cross your thumbs. Big inhale breath. And now slower than you want to, we're going to hinge forward from the hips. See if you could touch your forehead on the floor before the knife edge of the hands, just for fun. And then once you're all the way down, forehead, knife edge of the hands on the floor,
Try to keep the chin lifted away from the chest, gaze at the floor, and then sink your hips back towards your heels. If you're having to choose between forehead on the mat or hips on the heels, go forehead first, and then eventually the hips will sink back towards the heels. With every inhale, reach through your fingers. With every exhale, sink back through the hips. Tighten your abdominal muscles. Lift your arms so that the hands leave the mat. And start to lift all the way back up to a seat on your heels with your arms down by your side, completely relaxed. Okay, come up onto your knees for a camel pose. If you need a little bit of extra padding here, you can take a fold in your mat. And bring the hands to the lower back. Fingertips pointed down. Squeeze your elbows together side by side. Good. Just relax before you go into this. We want to go nice and slowly. Lift your chin up. Lift the chest. And now start to take your eyes across the ceiling towards the wall behind. Naturally, the hips will start to come forwards. Try to keep the chest lifted. And if you feel good here, you might like to reach back for 1 or 2 heels. No rush. Keep breathing tiny sips of air into the chest. Good to come out, bring one hand to the hip and then the other, and then take a seat back on your heels. If you feel a little bit dizzy here, you can bring your hands to your thighs and look straight ahead. Try to avoid collapsing into child's pose. Okay, from Ustrasana, camel pose, into Sasangasana, rabbit pose, completely taking the spine in the opposite direction. So big toes back together. Reach your hands back to take a clasp, thumb on the outside, fingers on the inside of your heel. If you can't get this grip for whatever reason, you can always bring your hands either side of your knees. Tuck your chin to your chest, forehead in, nice and tight. Feel that space open up between the shoulder blades already. Good. Keep your eyes open. And without resting weight in the crown of the head, lift your hips to the sky. Try to straighten out the backs of the legs. Keep pulling your forehead in towards your knees. Use your grip strength. Pull in, pull in, pull in. And then slowly uncurl out of your posture, one vertebra at a time. Stack your head on top. Look straight ahead and breathe. Bring legs straight out in front. Closing off our posture with some forward folds and a twist. Take a big bend in the left knee. Take that knee out to the side, sole to the inner right thigh. Janu Shirshasana, seated version of our forehead to knee. Right leg is strong, straight. Bring both arms overhead. Interlace fingers, open out your palms. Look at your right foot and then see if you could stretch to take that basket around the ball of your foot. If that's too much, you can take a bend in your knee. And then tuck your chin to your chest, forehead to your knee, and start to push that heel away, creating a tremendous stretching sensation across the underside of your right thigh. As you're in the posture, see where you can add a little bit of extra effort. Keep flexing your toes back towards you. Maybe you bend your elbows down, roll the left shoulder down a little bit. And keep your eyes open. And rise all the way back up. We'll switch sides. So right leg in, left leg out. Big inhale to reach. And exhale to fold. Good. Keep that left leg engaged if it's straight out in front. So if it is straight, you can maybe feel the left heel start to lift off the floor. Wherever you are, try to keep your forehead connected to me. And roll the left toe in towards the midline. Keep breathing evenly in and out through the nose. Good. And then lift your arms overhead. Keep them overhead. Bring the right leg out in line with the left. Give your bottom a little wiggle, make sure your sitting bones are on the floor. Little bend in the knees, keeping a flat back. Release your peace fingers, index finger and middle finger, and then turn the palms face in. Inhale. And then as you exhale, keep your chin lifted. Slot your fingers in between your big toe and your second toe. Open out your chest, big inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to lower the chest. So we're trying to keep that flat back position. If you feel like you're rounding here, keep a bend in the knees. Good. You can imagine stretching your chin to your toes. Again, use the breath with every inhale. Lengthen the chin forwards. And with every exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Paschimottanasana. Get to change, come up. Relax your arms, relax your legs. We made it to our final posture, spinal twist. Big bend in the right knee. Cross your right foot over your left leg and then sweep your left leg round behind. If that's too much, you can also keep that left leg straight out in front of you. Toes pointed forward, ankle in line with the knee. Take the right hand back behind. Sit up nice and tall. Inhale, reach. And exhale, take the left arm all the way up and over the outside of your right knee. You can bring the palm face down towards left knee. Start to bring your chin towards your right shoulder. Keeping the chin lifted away from the chest. Start to bring that right hand back behind you, maybe for a half bind. Or if you feel that that makes you collapse in the upper back, then pushing the hand back down into the mat can also help. Wring out the spine like a wet towel. Pull the right shoulder back. And look back one more time. Use your eyes to take you around. Good. And then come all the way through center. We'll do the same on the other side. So switch around the legs. So toes are slightly forward of the knee. Try to start off with that knee underneath your nose. Sit up nice and tall. Sitting bones even. Left hand back behind you. Right arm, inhale up to the sky, and exhale, bring it all the way up and over. You can bring your palm down towards your knee and then look deeply over your left shoulder for your final spinal twist, Ardha Matsyendrasana of Lord of the Fishes. And this gives us that opportunity at the end of our practice to just squeeze out any remaining tension, distractions, maybe a half bind. Use your breath. Good. And then come all the way back through center. Have a little bit of water, towel down if you're sweaty, and then we'll finish off with Kapalabhati breathing, skull shining breath. So traditionally taken on the knees, like this, otherwise cross legs is fine as well, as long as you've got plenty of space to breathe into the belly. So if you've never practiced this before, this is a tightening of the abdominal wall as you breathe out through the mouth, and then as you relax the belly, breathe in through the nose. Start by licking your lips and swallowing. Inhale through your nose, and then let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2.